Hey siblings in Mashiach, this is your Gap 2 sis, and if it's your first time here, hey hi, my name is Ryan. Here we just chop it up, we chill, and we have a little look into my diary. So, if you think you're gonna catch a vibe, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like most, I've gone through a lot of pain. Thankfully, not equalising the same amount of pain that others have gone through, but pain nonetheless. And despite all my trials and travails, I'm very thankful for that time. I'm thankful for all that heartache. I'm thankful for the nights that I cried myself to sleep. Because in that broken state, in that weakened state, that's where Yahuwah found me. I mean, there's like an accumulation of just like a lot of events that are happening in my life. Some that I might get into at a later stage and some that I'm definitely not going to. But just it felt very overwhelming at one point in my life. And I remember there was one time I was on a bus, right? And I just burst out crying. I just like, I'm on the top deck, right? There's people around me. And like, you know, when your mind is just going through like 1,000 like miles an hour, like everything's just so quick. Like I burst into tears. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't understand because like I couldn't put vocabulary to the feelings that I was having, and I wasn't ready to address those feelings. And because I wasn't ready to address those feelings verbally, it came out in my physicality, which also did really affect my physical health. Like yeah, I mean, when you don't address these things, they will come out some way. They'll either come out in your behavior or they'll come out in your physical health, how you like speak to people, obviously your behavior, how you talk to people, how you dress. Like if you don't address these things, they will find a way to address themselves. But like I said, y'all embraced me. Y'all took me out of that like really dark time. And I to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of my friends actually knew how hard it was for me at that time, because I'm not gonna like tell them exactly what's going on in my head and whatever, but Yahuwah really helped me in that moment. And I just wanted to share, because like if I went through it, I'm pretty sure you guys are going through it, and I definitely would have needed someone to talk to me about these kind of things that were, you know, you're gonna go through and whatever, especially in this walk. But like I was saying, Yah embraced me and he took me into a time of isolation. Now, I mean, the world was isolating, technically, in all technicality. We were in a panoramic. It was a different kind of isolation. Like, he drew me out of a lot of things that I was into, and definitely something that I'm pretty sure I'll get into in another video, just like how I started to remove myself from the ideologies of this world. And like when I think about like my changing and molding as a person, it actually makes me think about the story of Joseph. He was a man that had such big dreams, such an anointing placed upon his life. I mean, he was the favorite child. Like he had all these things placed upon his life, but yet he found himself in one of the most unfavorable situations that anyone could really ever find themselves in. But even in that situation, even in him being in prison, he was given a beautiful opportunity to mold and to grow in humility. Now, personally, I actually don't think it's very clear in the Genesis account that I don't think it really I personally don't think that the Genesis account captures the characteristics of Joseph clearly. I would say that because I'm not saying, and don't get this twisted, like I'm not saying like, oh, I get why his brothers did because that's bad, man, innit? Like literally Simeon, I think it was Simeon was ready to the guy, like he hated his guts. When you read like a different account, say like an apocryphal book account of it, Yasha, we're gonna get into that very, very briefly, you'll kind of understand why, like just slightly, you know, he was a bit jarring. He was giving jarring younger brother, low-key, high-key. But anyways, yeah, let me evidence what I'm saying. And this is obviously not to like disrespect Joseph, because his story bangs, but I just wanted to give a bit more context. So let's go into Yashar 41:4-7. And the sons of Jacob dwelt with their father in the valley of Hebron, and all the inhabitants of the land knew their strength, and their fame went throughout the land. And Joseph, the son of Jacob, and his brother Benjamin, the sons of Rachel, the wife of Jacob, were yet young in those days, and did not go out with their brethren during their battles in all the cities of the Amorites. But when Joseph saw the strength of his brethren and their greatness, he praised them and exalted them. But he ranked himself greater than them and exalted himself above them. And Jacob his father also loved him more than any of his sons, for he was the son of his old age, and through his love towards him, he made him a coat of many colors. And when Joseph saw that his father loved him more than his brethren, he continued to exalt himself above his brethren, and brought unto his father evil reports concerning them. What did I say? Low-key jarring, innit? Low-key jarring. But it's great to kind of read that kind of thing, because you kind of see the characteristic of Joseph before he went into the cell, and you see how he was after he came out. I mean, that gift of being in the prison cell allowed him to learn to grow in humility, allowed him to be very introspective, I'd assume. And you can see that his character changed whilst he was in there, because a few years later, his brothers came to see him for food, and he could have really done a hymn on them when they tried to come to Mitzrayim, but he didn't do that, because he took time to grow. He took time to sit in that betrayal and actually reflect. And we'll get into that a bit more, but like, I really think that's a pivotal thing to take on, sitting in your pain and reflecting. The question, what is it to wait on Yah patiently? I'm glad you asked. Let's go into Strong's. So we have Strong's H2342, and this gives us the word kol. Words associated with that are to twist, whirl, dance, reef, fare, tremble, travail, and be in anguish, be pained. Yeah, so these words aren't words that I would synonymize with peace, because naturally when you think about patience, I don't know, for me, I think about peace. Like, I think you sit there patiently, which is to sit there with peace and just calm and serenity and just waiting for the situation to kind of ride on by. But that's not what this is. That's literally not what this is. No, sitting in patience, patience is like an uneasy feeling. You have to learn to sit in that. It is painful to go through a process patiently, to be unable to take hold of the situation and manipulate it the way in which you want it to go. Learning to sit back in that and allowing your Lord to do what he needs to do with you, it is painful. And I've definitely got a story time on like how Yahuwah made me go through one situation very patiently. Like, I will definitely go into that one day, because that is a very, very, it was very eye-opening for me, because I had a lot of dreams around it, like all these things, but I still had to go through that process regardless of. But really, for fact, you're gonna have to go through the trenches, because when you think about it, anything worth having in this life, it requires a little bit of discomfort. I mean, I want a flat stomach. That requires my stomach to be talking in tongues. Nil by mouth. You have to sacrifice. And obviously put work in as well. But golly. But remember, to be able to first burst from that cocoon, the butterfly has to feel uncomfortable. Anyways, in your time of patiently waiting, you will grow. But one of the elements that I don't want us to neglect is taking accountability. Girl, I know. And whilst reading the word, we can never read it as if it's just some novel. Like, it is never going to be like a straight read. It shouldn't be. And if you're reading it like that, it's not the best way to read it, I personally would say. I understand why some people would read it that way, just to kind of get the points and understand this happened here and that happened there, da-da-da-da. I get that. But, I mean, that's just reading. But when you're studying the word, you need to, the word for me is like, it's a mirror. It's always going to reflect on you. All your imperfections, it has to show you. And I'd also like to think that within the time of Joseph, like when he was isolating, I'd like to think that he took a lot of time to actually self-reflect and think and take accountability, because taking accountability in your time of growth is absolutely fundamental. Because if any man say he sinned not, then he is a liar and the truth is not in him. Also, by actually acknowledging and taking accountability of the fact that I did play an active part in some of the situations that I was, in all the situations, let's just be real. In all the situations I was in, I played an active part. I was an active participant. I played an active part. I pressed play. It was me. It actually allowed me to forgive myself. It did. And it also allowed me to forgive others that I believed hurt me as well. Well, I do believe that did hurt me as well. And by forgiving those, it allows Yahuwah to also forgive you. Now, I kind of wanted to just close it up really succinctly, and I wanted to nearly end it with like a quote from one of my favourite books. It's actually one of the first books I remember being read to me as a child. We're going on a bear hunt. You can't go under it. You can't go over it. But you've got to go through it. You have to go through that situation, sis. Being avoidant and not handling your pain will only stunt your growth. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. When I say you have to be brutally honest with yourself, I'm not saying make yourself cry, but I'm saying you need to talk to yourself. You need to take accountability, because that is the only way you're going to grow. And nobody is saying that it's going to be a stress-free time, that, you know, you just kind of walk through the daffodils and you're happy and what. No, but that is what Yahuwah is there for, because when you look at yourself and you see the dirt and you see the disgustingness, like, you see it, but then you see that Yahuwah is there to also forgive you and to help you and to heal you. The journey is different, but you have to first take that accountability, man. You really do. And going through that season of voluntary pain will actually yield the most authentic results for yourself. I mean, you have to address the hidden pain that may be disguising itself as like lust or gluttony or greed. And it's interesting, those things, like pain can manifest itself in different ways in your life. Like for me, in the spirit of being vulnerable and open with you guys, for me, it manifested itself in a lot of like lust, and it also manifested itself in a lot of gluttony. And there are two things that I'm personally working with Yahuwah in terms of like trying to cut and work around, and just you know, it's again, it's a journey. And remember, once that season of darkness or silence has begun, that isolation has begun, you are one step closer to blossoming and yielding the fruits of the ruach. Also, I had this metaphor, and I thought, wow, this makes sense, because we're talking about fruit, we're talking about seeds, all that kind of fruit, but like, and darkness, whatever. But think about a seed. Think about yourself as a physical seed. Remember, when a seed is first sown, it is put into soil. That soil is dark. That soil is damp. That soil can be clumpy. That soil can have decaying worms, all these kind of things. It's giving dark, it's giving grungy, it's giving dirty, right? It's not cute. It's not a cute time. But that dampness aids in the hydration of the seed. The decomposing animals, they increase fertility and enhance water retention. The clumpiness of the soil, that nature, it promotes good structure, allowing air and water to get to the seed for it to grow. So once again, let me reiterate, you actually have to go through the season. Again, like I said, it's not going to be comfortable. It is not comfortable, but trust me, sis. Trust me when I say you will actually grow through this pain, and you will thank yourself for it. It will be one of the best things that you have ever done for yourself. And I speak from experience. I speak through working experience. I'm working for it still. But it just takes time, and it takes you being completely honest with yourself. But trust me, when you finally break through that soil, there is nothing but up from there. You've got this, sis. I just want to say thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to listen to my video. I hope this page in my diary was actually helpful. Much love, your Gatti sis. Bye. Oh my gosh, you watched the video. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys like, share and subscribe. All praises unto the Most High. Bye.